The Cowboys made some more coaching changes. What? Are you serious?
Says on the beat, boy.
Yeah. Cause he wanna light. Headlights, I've been whipping midnight through the city. I've been going through some things, tryna get my mind right. Push the bucket to the limit, push that bitch into the fence. Gotta get the full control, gotta get my mind right. Headlights, I've been whipping midnight through the city. I've been going through some things, tryna get my mind right. Push the bucket to the limit, push that bitch into the fence. Gotta get the full control, gotta get my mind right. Yeah.
What's going on, Cowboys faithful? It's your boy DMV back with another one. You guys know that I love to do my morning videos. I know that you guys love them, so we're gonna talk some Cowboys football. So yesterday there were some promotions within the Cowboys coaching staff, and we're gonna talk about them. So our new running back coach and run game coordinator is Jeff Blasco. So he was an assistant on the offensive line last year. And, he's had some experience with Mike McCarthy out in Green Bay. So, I think that, that promotion should be in order. Tight ends coach Lunda Wells has been. He's been the tight end coach for the last 3 years, so that's not really a promotion. But I'll talk to it. Lunda Wells has been around for quite some time with Mike McCarthy, so there's some trust there. And quarterback coach Scott Tolzien, so he's a new quarterback coach, and I believe that he was an assistant last year on the staff. So there's been some promotions within, and here's my thoughts behind it. My thoughts behind it is that Mike McCarthy came in. It was not a conventional situation when you're coming in from somewhere else and you're trying to be a head coach. Normally, the head coach has the power to do what the head coach needs to do because you're hiring the head coach. Well, he came in, with his knees kind of cut off and, having to accept Kellen Moore as the offensive coordinator. And, on the defensive side of the ball, they brought in his buddy Greg Nolan, and that didn't work out. So that kind of maybe ruined some trust with the front office there where, bringing in Dan Quinn, you're not going to be able to replace the offensive coordinator. Now, there's obviously been some friction between him and Kellen Moore. Probably, I would imagine the whole time, but it really got bad over the last year or so. And I think ultimately what it really came down to is that they just have two different philosophies. And when you're a head coach, it's your job to make everything one cohesive unit. It's your job to play complementary football. I know that Mike McCarthy talks a lot about complementary football, and I just don't think that the systems meshed. I believe that they won games, and I believe that they persevered, and they found ways to problem solve. I believe that Mike McCarthy, throughout the time, him and the front office with some of the free agents that they brought in throughout the year, and some of the roster building that they've done, they've been able to solve some problems. But ultimately, the thing to get over the hump, as far as having an identity, as far as having some kind of synergy, it just wasn't enough with what was currently there. So I believe that these promotions are in place so that Mike McCarthy can have his stamp on the offense, because ultimately he is an offensive guy. And looking at somebody run your offense with a different philosophy, ultimately that could probably cause some friction there. And I think that this is ultimately about Mike McCarthy saying, this is my thing. I'm going to have guys in places that I trust, guys that ultimately fit together. That way we create an identity. So as an identity goes, this is one thing that was brought up, and I believe it was by David Moore, and it was retweeted by Michael Gelkin. But the running back coach, Jeff Blasco and Lunda Wells, both have offensive line experience. So that's something to look out for as far as, you having a running back coach and a run game coordinator. I don't believe that we've had a run game coordinator here. And if we have, it really hadn't been highlighted over the last couple of years. So I believe that they want to get back to running the ball effectively. That's probably something that he's talked to the front office and the identity of this team. And there's no, I mean, there's no real. You can't really hide the fact that we couldn't run the ball over the last couple of years when we needed to run the football. And I think that ultimately it's about running it more effectively as we go forward. So you have line experience from both Blasco and Wells, and then the quarterback coach. Really, ultimately, like who was the quarterback coach over the last couple of years? I think that not only is it about Dak Prescott, but it's about the guys behind him and making sure that we develop them. So Mike McCarthy got a guy to be his quarterback coach who was already on staff. That was a quarterback for him in Green Bay behind Aaron Rodgers. And, he was a quarterback coach. I mean, he was a quarterback throughout the league, but I think he got somebody that really understands what he really wants out of the quarterback position. I know that Mike McCarthy is beloved as a guy that does develop quarterbacks. I know that he's a guy that has his own rules and things that he wants in place. So what better than to get a guy in place that understands what you want to get across? And, think about this, right? It's really a recipe for success. So I know that you guys are, there are guys out there that want better coaches, or you want coaches from other places, or you felt like there are better coaches out there. But there's no better thing that you can have on a coaching staff than continuity. And that's really what Mike McCarthy is looking for right now. He wants guys in his building that see his vision, that can carry out his vision, because, I've been on staffs before where the head guy says one thing and the assistant coaches think another. They're teaching one thing, and this they kind of bump heads a little bit because they just don't see things the same. I've actually been a coach on a staff like that. I've been an assistant where I butted heads with my head coach because we just didn't see eye to eye on certain things. It doesn't mean that his way is wrong or my way is right. It just means that we just have a different way of looking at things, and sometimes that hampers you from moving forward. I think that this is ultimately what that's about. It's about really just getting this offense back on track to having an identity. Having an identity that you can count on in certain situations. Being able to get your quarterback easy plays, confident plays. Being able to have your quarterback when things get tough, to go back to their mechanics, go back to their common principles. So that's ultimately what this whole move is about. And hopefully we can get more players in that have played in his previous system, because that's been the recipe for success with Andy Reid. Andy Reid always brings in coaches that he's coached with before, or old players that really understand some of the things that he wants to get across. So just keep that in mind. And I appreciate you guys for tuning in. I know that I haven't done the morning video in a while, but we got it out the way. And I appreciate you guys. Leave your comments in the comment section. And I'm out. Peace.